What's up, everybody? Solomon here. Well, I failed at taking a break given the recent documents that have come out as well as the recent price action. So, this is going to be one of the more important videos that I've done. We're going to talk a little bit about exit strategy. We're going to talk a little bit about what to be weary of during a bull run in the crypto space. We're going to talk about a lot of different things here. So, this should be a very good video, a very informative video. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. I want all of you to succeed in this space, though. And, you know, for those of you that have not been around during the, an actual bull run, it gets absolutely insane. And it's very easy to get greedy and to make mistakes. I was here at the beginning of 2017, prior to the bull run. And, I was there through the bull run, and I fell prey and victim to some of those mistakes. I do not want you guys to make the same mistakes that I did. So first, I want to get into this G30. If you're not aware, and if you haven't seen the document that came out about a day and a half ago, G30 is basically some of the most powerful individuals in finance in the entire world. They directly mention XRP and the technology that XRP represents, leapfrogging traditional banking systems. As far as from an innovation standpoint. So I'll go through G30, the group of 30 real quick. They're a consultative group on international economic and monetary affairs. Some of the leadership, former governor of the Bank of Israel, former chairman JP Morgan Chase International, senior minister Singapore, chairman Monetary Authority of Singapore, partner and member of the board of BTG Pactual, former president of the European Central Bank. Current members include former governor of the Bank of England, Augustin Carstens, former governor of Bank of Mexico, and current general manager at the Bank for International Settlements. The list goes on and on, people. And for them to put out a document like this, it just tells you that you are in this space, at exactly the right time. There's going to be multiple winners in this space, but you are here at the correct time. And you are here in the correct space, period. Now, this G30 document that they put out, though, I'm going to read through this real quick, and then I want to get into a little bit more here. So, coordinating the introduction of global official sector stablecoins. Okay? Now, this talks about a systemic hegemonic currency could. And if you're not aware what a hegemonic currency is, they're basically talking about a global currency. Take that as you will. Obviously, there's some negatives that go along with that, but this is what they're talking about. Could, for example, be a stablecoin backed by a basket of deposits at different central banks. It is possible that such a stablecoin could be valuable for cross-border payments, serving a function similar to that offered in the private sector by Ripple, a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network, whose digital currency, XRP, leapfrog slow and expensive correspondent banking. If such a global currency were to be heavily used, however, it could lead to monetary policy spillover costs and efficiency losses associated with competing payment network externalities. Payment settlement chains could be lengthened to the extent that a systemic hegemonic currency would need to be supplied elastically. Central banks could face significant coordination costs given their different respective monetary conditions, given the challenges the euro has faced, and the difficulty of having transnational money without a transnational fiscal and regulatory authority. It is difficult at this point to see how a global currency could evolve digitally when it has not yet happened within the existing system. Nevertheless, the externalities posed by digital currencies may prove so significant that previously unthinkable levels of international coordination become possible. Okay. There's a couple of things in that, and I know there's a lot of loaded language, okay? First and foremost, what they're talking about is a global currency that, basically goes beyond borders. And that's not possible given that it's never been possible in the past. Now, what does XRP do? XRP is supposed to bridge silos, right? So when every bank, and every bank will come out with their own central bank digital currency, every nation, I should say, XRP will be perfectly positioned to bridge those. I'm not saying that's the only thing that could do that. I'm just letting you know what it's set up to do. All right. Also, a little bit in here talks about, it seems like they're a little bit weary of going this route. However, they are already going this route. Just them mentioning XRP multiple times. I mean, what other digital asset do you see them mentioning that could facilitate something like this as far as from a borderless, non-siloed, global type currency thing? Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and discuss, the positives and negatives of what that implicates, but it's extremely interesting. It's extremely huge. This entire document, I recommend that you guys at least browse through. These are the most powerful individuals in the entire world that are directly calling out something like XRP. And a hegemonic currency, you can look that up also. That's they're basically talking global currency. So what's interesting to me is I continue to see more so than ever for the past few weeks articles propping up about gold-backed digital currencies, okay? Now, the one thing that I did find interesting in this is with the gold price already at near $2,000, and now we know it's surpassed 2K an ounce, there is simply no way that the amount of gold currently existing could cover the fiat money that has been issued. The USGS estimates that about 244,000 tons have been discovered to date, with 187,000 tons produced and 57,000 tons in the current underground reserves. The only way that any currency, fiat or digital, could be redeemable in gold is to have the gold price increase enormously. There are some pundits that have preconized a gold price, predicted a gold price of $10,000 an ounce or even $20,000 an ounce. Even a gram would then be extremely expensive to purchase. Assuming that the money supply, even with the digital currency, could be increased by central banks and that the amount of gold currently existing is finite, or at best increasing only slowly, the price of gold would levitate in the currency of a particular country, as the currency of a particular country is debased by its central bank increasing the money supply in that currency. Interesting stuff. It does talk about the countries with the most gold. Most gold reserves as of 2019. We can see the US, Germany, Italy, France, Russia, China, Switzerland, Japan, Netherlands, and India. Now, China obviously does have a gigantic appetite for gold as well. All right. We do see that Russia also, this was Russia to treat crypto as taxable property. I believe Putin actually put that into law. I think it was yesterday. We're seeing more about cryptocurrencies in your investment portfolio. Okay. This was a fintech summit, it looks like. And the panelists were a managing director at CTF Capital, a gentleman from the Argentine Chamber of Fintech, another fintech company here, and obviously the moderator here. And all of them are basically saying that you need to have crypto to some extent in your portfolio. Okay, now I want to get into this a little bit because we'll look at the price here in a second of XRP, but what I really wanted to talk about with you all, and if you weren't here for the 2017/beginning of 2018 altcoin run, there's a lot of things you really need to watch out for in this space, okay? Now, this is one exit strategy article that I found here. How to retire from crypto in 5 to 10 years' time. There are multiple publications about an exit strategy. Those are all fine and well. I have my own exit strategy. For me to tell you what my exit strategy is would do you absolutely no good at all, because I'm not you. I don't have the same situations that you may have. I may have different goals than you have. You need to come up and you need to sit down and you need to write it down. Not once, not twice. Write it down 5 times. Keep it in multiple different places. Keep one in your wallet if you need to keep one in your wallet. An exit strategy is amazingly important. In 2017, I invested a certain amount of money into digital assets, okay? And I did not have an exit strategy. I did not do research into digital assets. I had Bitcoin. I started branching out. What happens inherently when these prices start going up, and make no mistake, these prices are going to go up much more than what we're seeing just in the past day or two with XRP. XRP has went up 30% in a week. I can tell you from experience, that's nothing during the actual bull run for what we see across the board. What you need to do is have a set plan, okay? I will tell you, for example, in my opinion, it makes quite a bit of sense to have quite a number of exchanges that you can use as off-ramps, okay, with triggered sells that put yourselves into a fiat position. However, my personal plan, I don't plan on fully selling out of digital assets. Now in 2017, I didn't sell out at all. I sold a little bit, but then I made some really, really stupid decisions that I just hope that you do not make. All right, so if we look at XRP right now, we could see XRP is at 29.1 cents, okay? I don't look at charting a lot. I think that it applies to some extent maybe with Bitcoin, maybe with Ethereum, maybe even with XRP to an extent. But, you know, as far as charting is concerned with crypto, it's so volatile that I think that it's just extremely risky. I do look at RSI and overbought and oversold conditions. You can look into what RSI is a little bit more if you want to. It's interesting that we really haven't hit the level that we're at from an RSI standpoint on the daily since back in December of 2017. We can see from a monthly standpoint too, we are right about to breach, I think this is probably 70 right here. And we haven't done that since, you know, January of 2018, which if you're not aware what, once you start getting up as far as RSI is concerned, you get into the overbought conditions. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I look at that as a past indicator too, as far as where we're actually at, bull or bear. Do I think we're in a bull market yet? I am starting to very much so obviously lean towards the bottom of being in. I that's not financial advice. I could be completely wrong. All right. Another thing that you need to be aware of during these extreme times of volume with these crypto exchanges, especially Coinbase. Coinbase to me is a very good exchange just because it's more heavily regulated, or at least, you know, there's some level of clarity with Coinbase. Binance US, I would recommend. So first off, I would recommend looking at exchanges that do have some sort of regulatory guidance that they're trying to follow. Binance US, Coinbase. There are other ones obviously out there. I would say that, you know, you start getting a little bit more risky as you go down the line. What you need to be cognizant of in this space, especially with something like Coinbase, is Coinbase has a tendency to crash. You won't have access to your account during these bull runs. You know, when Bitcoin was surging in December of 2017, I remember that there were people that were buying people's Binance accounts. There was people that are trying to buy people's Coinbase accounts because they weren't taking new users. Do I think that is going to be a problem this time? I don't know. But you need to be very much so aware of you know, these websites and these exchanges crashing as far as the servers, and you just won't be able to log on. What I've personally done, a couple different exchanges, multiple different exchanges actually, I have triggered sells at certain levels for certain digital assets, okay? I also don't recommend keeping all of your digital assets on exchanges. My personal opinion is to keep some of them on with triggered sells. It probably makes more sense than not doing that just because of what I just talked about. But you need to look into custody options. You need to look into cold storage wallets. Even something like a paper wallet may make sense to you. There's multiple different options out there. But just be very aware that this type of stuff does happen. I'm not saying that we're in the bull run to end all bull runs right now, because we'll talk about that in a second. There's just certain things you need to be aware of, okay? And I want you guys to succeed where I didn't succeed in 2017, where I very much so could have. I just didn't, okay? This is, for example, one situation where I did not succeed in the very beginning of 2018, okay? I had quite a bit of money that I had made from my digital assets. I still had them in the original digital assets. I made a lot of it from Bitcoin, and there were some other digital assets as well. What's going to happen across the board is greed is going to start flooding this market once we're in a bull run, okay? And you're going to start seeing these coins surging like crazy. Coins you've never heard of, tokens you've never heard of. One of these that happened in 2017 was Dragon Chain, okay? I had this dude, this random guy, and you will see more people that you've never heard talk about cryptocurrency ask you about cryptocurrency too during the bull run. This random dude is like, yeah, look into Dragon Chain. They're partnered with Disney. I didn't do any research back then. I didn't realize that like the Disney thing had long since been basically forgotten with Dragon Chain, okay? Let alone one type of assumption as far as a partnership means nothing. We all know that, right? At this point, we all know that. But this is more so for those of you that don't, okay? I bought Dragon Chain. I probably took a couple $1,000 and I bought Dragon Chain probably right around here. Probably right around $4.50 some cents, okay? You can see that it peaked to $5.18. And now, if we look at Dragon Chain right now, it is at like, oh my, I don't even know. What is it? I don't even have my Dragon Chain anymore. I hope my internet's not dead. There's Dragon Chain right now, okay? 7 cents, okay? 6 cents, whatever. I bought it like $4.53, okay? No research. I bought into a pump. I bought into the hype. I bought into greed. I bought into being a complete idiot, okay? I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I made. And I made a couple of mistakes like this. Another one that I can think of was, I think, COS, you know, and that was back, again, the 2017 bull run. Oh, they don't even have a COS coin anymore? Do they still have COS? The 2017 bull run and my mistakes during that bull run were what caused me to start researching digital assets. Real research, real relationships, real utilization. And the key here isn't relationships, people. It is utility. It has always been utility. I believe 100% that this 2017 bull run was a test. Take that as you want, as far as from a tinfoil hat perspective or not. I don't care. That's my opinion. We had retail investors and retail investors alone in 2017. However, if you remember, if you were here, Bitcoin futures came, and I think it was October of 2017. Maybe it was the very beginning of November. And you think that those people were going along and then shorting the market and making their money from a 2x standpoint? I guarantee you that they were. So this is something else to be very cognizant of, okay? Take in mind the tax implications that are going to be happening across the board. I personally buy most of my digital assets and I plan on holding for at least a year. I think it's a year for capital gains in the US. And then the percentage goes down from what you owe from a tax standpoint. That's not to say that if something crazy happened, I wouldn't be cashing out some. However, there was this Reddit user in I think it was in 2017. This was published in March of 2018. Owed the IRS $50,000. It wasn't thanks to Bitcoin. It was thanks to himself. He made all these profits in Bitcoin, and then instead of cashing out some or preparing for the tax implications that he was going to be facing, he immediately went into alts because alts were surging, right? And what happened is all the alts crashed. This may have been right during the turnover for the tax season. And, you know, that didn't register from a tax standpoint how much he lost from the alts. All that the IRS cared about was the gains that he made from Bitcoin. This dude ended up losing a ton of money. He owed the IRS a ton of money. You need to be aware of what you're doing in this space, people, okay? Now, we are going to get into this a little bit, okay? Blockchain is not a magic bullet for security. Can it be trusted, okay? We have all seen the document that talks about 10% of global GDP by 2025 stored on blockchains. You want to know what that number is? If I do an estimate from what it was in 2019, and this is not even taking into account derivatives or any of that, 10% of global GDP in 2025 will probably be around $20 trillion, okay? If I take it from 2019 right now, that'd be like 14.2 trillion, okay? The bull run, the peak of the bull run in 2017 was like 870, 880 billion, I think, was in digital assets. We have not seen anything yet. You think that these little 10% or 30% in a week pump is something? No, it's nothing. What we're going to see is something much crazier than that. And from my opinion, the utility is going to drive things even higher. However, my opinion doesn't mean anything. That's why I've set targeted sells to make sure that I at least make my money back. I prepare for my taxes, and then I can always hold digital assets for the long term as well. I don't trade. I don't trade cryptocurrency. I think it's great for the people that have been successful at doing that. I buy and hold mostly for the long term. But I do have triggered positions where I can earn my money back and try to cash out with some profit if need be. However, we all know what's coming with fiat also. If you think fiat is sustainable and the debt cycle on a global scale is sustainable, I don't know what to tell you, but it's not sustainable. So this is a complicated subject, everybody. That's why I don't talk about price very often at all, because everybody has a different opinion and everybody could be right and I could be completely dead wrong. However, I know that I'm not wrong in saying that you need to have a plan. So 50% of GDP is what they're talking by 2050, and I would be even think that that's a little bit of a light estimate. But I also think that 2050 is probably a little bit of a long estimate. I'd be hesitant to say that that wouldn't be by 2035 or so, 2030 even. We've seen the initiatives being rolled out from the all of these global institutions for quote unquote a green economy by 2030. How do you think that that is achieved? Okay. So I would be very surprised if we don't see a much higher number than 10% by 2030, 2035. And I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it closer to 50% of global GDP. If you're not aware, GDP is gross domestic product. It's a monetary measure of the market value of all the financial goods and services produced in a specific time period. Now, I'm sure that many of you have seen this. This is all the money in the world in one chart. We were going to talk derivatives here. So what did I say? It was like 142 trillion GDP in 2019. That's not even taking into account derivatives. If you take into account everything, you're getting up into the quadrillions, and especially derivatives. And we know what DTCC is doing as well. DTCC is utilizing distributed ledger technology, building on top of it for instant settlement of securities. I'm sure derivatives as well. And it's a lot of money, everybody. We are here at the perfect time. You know why we're here at the perfect time? They tested what would happen in the retail market, and now the institutional investors, the institutions are here from a utility standpoint now. They're all investing in this technology across the board. You can see it. They're Google, you've got everybody. All the banks are here from a utility standpoint as well. What's going to start happening is you're going to start seeing an institutional investment on a scale that has not been seen ever. And once institutional investment happens to that scale, you're going to start seeing them market cryptocurrency like it's the best thing since sliced bread to all these people, all the sheep like you and I. We're sheep, right? Maybe we're not so much a sheep as they thought because we're in this market. I do think that this is one of the best financial opportunities in history. I don't even want to say in my lifetime, because I think it's more so than that. I want you to just be very cognizant. You're going to see hypey videos on YouTube, okay? You're going to see things surpassing their all-time highs. And I'm talking when we're in the actual bull run. And you're going to start seeing people talking about, well, if XRP is at $3, and I'm not saying it's going to go to $3 in any time frame, but if XRP is at $3, I think it's going to go to 10 in a week, 10 in 2 weeks, whatever. Be just very aware of what's going on, okay? Everybody that's making these videos, that's providing content that tends to get a little bit like that, is in it for the same reason that you are, but they also want views, okay? And there's one way that you get views more than anything else, and that's to put out extremely over bullish content on a consistent basis with no backing, okay? So a bull run is going to occur. You heard it from me. I know it's going to. There are going to be digital assets that make normal people like you and I very wealthy in the future, and I think in the very near future. But there are also, people out there that are selling snake oil to you all, and you're going to start hearing things that are just completely unrealistic. That's why you need to have a plan, okay? You need to stick to your plan, because your plan is your plan. It's the plan that you set out for yourself that best suits what you're looking to gain from this market, okay? From a realistic standpoint for yourself. All right, so awesome that we're seeing the price up. Make a plan, look at storage options, look at exit ramps, okay? Be cognizant of what you're seeing. Don't get overly involved in the hypey content. Enjoy it. It's entertainment, right? But stick to your plan, okay? I wouldn't recommend ever cashing out everything. I would 100% recommend making sure that you hit your goals, that you can pay for the taxes that are implicated in hitting your goals, and that you still have something set aside for yourself for the future, okay? Because this market is not stopping. Markets go in cycles, people, okay? Just because we're about to, or maybe we're in the first part of this bull run. And in 2017, we had a mini one in May and then big one in December. That doesn't mean we're not going to have another bear market again. And that doesn't mean we're not going to have a bull run after that either, okay? I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. I think I'm going to be on Crypto Siege's YouTube channel tomorrow, so check that out. Again, not financial advice. Don't buy into scams, all right? Hope you guys have a good one. Later.